all the phases. Planning is required before the start of your project at macroscopic level that we have studied. Once we chalked out a macroscopic plan, then the project is further divided into smaller compartments, and to execute smaller compartments, a microscopic planning, microscopic estimation and other details are needed. So software project planning. The software project management, it begins with a set of activities that are collectively called as planning. So project planning is a collection of a set of activities. Okay, the software project management, it begins with certain activities, and collection of those activities are called as project planning. So what kind of activities comprises of this planning, or what kind of decisions you need to make your planning more effective, which leads to a quality software. So before you start your project, you must estimate the work to be done, estimation of the work. The resources required for the completion of that work should be properly planned, and time that will be required for that activity. So 3 factors here. First one is how much work is there, how much the quantity of work or volume of work is there, how many resources are needed, and what time will I be able to finish that work. So these 3 things. Now what all factors which affects this planning activity? It is affected by the first factor, that is project complexity. Now project complexity it has a strong effect on the uncertainty inherent in the planning. Uncertainty. If there is a factor of uncertainty. You can't say that whatever plan I have made, it is 101%, it is foolproof plan. There are no uncertainties in this plan. There are no surprises in that plan. However foolproof plan may be, there are chances of certain surprises, there are chances of certain risk elements are involved, and there are a little chances that the plan may get deviated from whatever the course of action that you have decided to work on. So project complexity, it has a strong effect on the uncertainty factor which is related to the planning. Now how you measure the complexity? Complexity is a relative measure, that you can anticipate it from your past experience. Because this project's complexity is more, this project's complexity is less, this project's complexity is normal, moderate complexity project is there. How you can state these the complexity of the project? Because say if you have worked on some few projects earlier, now based upon your experience on those earlier projects or past experience, you can estimate the whatever requirement we have received, the way we are planning. We think that this project would be of higher complexity, lesser complexity, moderate complexity. So the first timer developers or sophisticated application might consider it to be exceedingly complex. So if you are a first time developer, then you feel that a normal project can also be interpreted by the first time developer as an extremely complex project. So project complexity, the evaluation of project complexity is an important factor which affects your overall software project planning. Now the size of project. Size of project is also very important, because as you estimate the size of project, as size increases, the interdependency among various elements of the software grows rapidly. More will be the size, more number of modules you will try to develop, more number of compartmentalization will be there. If more modules, more compartmentalization, more functionality is there, then intercommunication between those compartments, those modules, those functionality will be established. And as you try to increase this intercommunication between the various modules, definitely it increases the project complexity as well. Now there are certain set of guidelines which are used for this project planning. The planning objective is achieved through a process of information discovery that leads to a reasonable estimates. So before planning, you should know that why you are planning, what you are planning. So information discovery. First, information discovery phase is there. Try to identify as much information related to your project. Try to get answers of many questions you might be having. And if you have enough information, sufficient information, using that information you can have a reasonable estimates. In case if you don't have a proper information, or only partial information, incorrect information, misleading information, so these estimates would be affected. Estimate is nothing but a planning. Estimate is a part of planning. So if you do not have a proper information, incorrect information, partial information, misleading information, confusing information, if you do not have a crystal clear requirement in front of you, then you may end up in a bad estimate or bad planning. So first phase is information discovery. Correct information, proper information, and as much information, more and more information is beneficial for this planning process. The objective of software project planning is to provide a framework that enables manager to make reasonable estimates of resource, cost, and schedule. The ultimate aim of this project planning is to enable manager or the person who is taking the decisions on how to start the project, estimate the depth of the project based upon the information. The depth of the project, the work which is to be carried out should be estimated properly. The resources required for that work to be done that you have estimated. Resources, as we have already discussed, maybe the programmers, maybe the planners, maybe the testers, human being, or the resources like system and all other functional products. The cost, the money which is involved in this complete project, and the schedule, whatever the timelines, whatever the the milestones which needs to be properly framed, the timelines, when we have to deliver, when the project schedule is, when the project release is scheduled, at what time the customer wants it, will I be able to complete that before the deadline given by the customer. So all this planning, this is the objective of software project planning. Your planning should not only consider the good aspects, it should attempt to define the best case and worst case scenario so that the project outcomes can be bounded. Best case and worst case scenario. So best case means whatever you have planned, whatever you have estimated, whatever you have considered that this is like how I am going to progress throughout my software development project. And nothing bad happens, nothing goes wrong, everything is as per your planning, then it is the best case. Whatever you have planned, everything is going as per your planning, the best case. The worst case, whatever you have planned, everything is going in opposite direction. Nothing is happening as per your plan. The worst case scenario. So you can say that if it is the best case scenario, if everything works according to my decision, my guideline, my planning, then I would be able to finish the software development of this particular software within 6 months. I'll be able to achieve a profit margin of more than 50%. I don't require more than 4 or 5 number of programmers. So whatever is your planning, the best case. The worst case, whatever resources you have hired, you have trained to work on your project, they have left, they switched to another company. So in between your project, they left you, they left the project. I mean, then you need the new resources. Definitely the time required for the new resource to get trained, to be more productive in your development project, will require certain amount of time. So definitely it will be delay in the schedule. Again, the hiring is needed. Again, the training cost is there. So cost will improve, cost will increase. So deadline you may miss. The profit margin that you have estimated you may miss. Since he is new one, he may introduce more errors in the existing module. So testing efforts may increase. So worst case scenarios. So as a manager, you need to answer both kind of questions in planning. Like if everything goes fine, I will be able to complete this with so and so parameters, the best case parameters. And if nothing goes in my favor, then these are the best case situations. I will be able to handle these much. And in the worst case also, the project will be profitable to the organization. This confidence should come out of this planning process. Although there is an inherent degree of uncertainty, software team embarks on a plan that has been established as a consequence of these tasks. Now you can't say that the plan is foolproof. Always there is a degree of uncertainty. Degree of uncertainty will always be there. If you are familiar to develop this, if you have already worked on this kind of a project before, definitely the degree of uncertainty will be less, since you know what all could be the possible deviations in the plan, what all hurdles, what all problems you have faced earlier while dealing with the developing or dealing with the similar kind of a project. So degree of uncertainty will be less. If it is a new kind of a project, if it is a new kind of a development, so definitely the degree of uncertainty will be more. But degree of uncertainty will always be there. But software team should have a plan that has been established as a consequence of the above tasks that we have discussed. Depending upon the complexity, depending upon the project size, reasonable estimate, cost, schedule, plan has to be there. Therefore, the plan must be adapted and updated as the project proceeds. There are two words, adapted and updated. So before the start of project, planning activity is there. Once the planning is there, once the planning document is prepared, this planning document is prepared based upon the best information that is available to the team at that particular moment. The best set of information that is available at that point of time. As you move ahead during your software development process, like from planning to design, modeling, then construction, then development, you will be getting more and more information during the development. You will be uncovering more and more information, more minute information, more detailed information. There will be a certain need to update your original plan during your processes as well, to update your plan. Therefore, the plan must be adapted. First, you develop a plan, fixed the plan, start working as per the planning. This is known as adaptation. During working, certain more pieces of information will be there. A new variation, new information will come. The modification related information will come. Error related information will come. Okay. Then, therefore, the plan must be updated.